It's the Positivity podcast.
See what we did there?
Welcome to our brand new podcast where we bring you half an hour of happiness.
Kickstarting your week with us the right way.
Whether you join us on your commute,
Your weekly tidy up,
while you cook your favourite dinner,
or you listen to relax.
we've got you covered
So join me and Ellie every week
for a bit of positivity,
where we share hilarious and happy stories from around the globe.
as well as your own personal highlights.
Guaranteed to boost your mood and make you smile.
We bring your daily positivity to you, so look no further and make this positive podcast a part of your weekly routine.
And switch on the kettle and let's have a brew.
Hello and welcome to the Positivity podcast with us, Andy and Ellie. We are here every single Monday to kickstart your week the right way by spreading the positivity. We've got loads of different stories from the UK and beyond to make you smile.
And beyond. How are you, Ellie?
Oh, I'm all right. How are you, Andy? Feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
Every episode we have a different theme, and we asked you to get in touch last week and tell us things you'd never do again. So whether it's skydiving, buying a pet, covering a shift at work, babysitting maybe, trying a new food, the list is endless. It could have been anything.
If you're listening now, get involved now, play along, tweet us, message us on Facebook, Instagram, emails, whatever it is. Our social handle is Andy and Ellie UK.
We're going to start with a few positive stories that we've seen in the news to kick it all off. So, my story, how lockdown led to a music studio for young people experiencing homelessness. So, we're off to London for this one. So, when he spotted a neglected piano during lockdown, a handyman at a centre for people at risk of homelessness vowed to nurture their passion for music. So, it was at the end of 2019 that Manuel Wilson started working as a handyman at a homeless centre for young people in London, run by charity Evolve Housing and Support. He says music is such a great medium to help and support people when it comes to mental wellness, and I thought this was a great opportunity to do something life-changing. He said he spotted a broken and out-of-tune piano in the rec room of the centre in Stockwell, South London. Pushed up against a wall, I love this setting here, pushed up against a wall, it was largely ignored in favour of the nearby punching bag, pool table and ping pong table, because you needed to know that. But it captured his attention, and over the next few months he made it his mission to restore it. After a while, Wilson decided to buy a second-hand electronic keyboard and brought that to the centre too. More and more young people began to flock to his music sessions, and the rest is history. I love that.
Oh, that's so cute, isn't it? I mean, well, I don't want to brag, but you know, the whole music thing, it's nice to see that there's different ways of doing it.
Yeah, 100%.
Very cute, very cute. Well, from homelessness to shoes, because that's a great segue.
Yeah.
Nike have created a new special shoe.
Ooh.
So it's called a Flyes, or Fleas. I think it's Flyes. Flyes Go. Basically, it's the first totally hands-free shoe. It means you don't have to put your hand on the shoe to put it in. Your foot kind of slides in, and then it kind of locks your shoe into your sole. Which is, I mean, it's kind of Tony Starky, isn't it? But it's pretty cool. Like, you just need to look at the photos in the video, and it kind of makes sense. But it's a really cool kind of invention. So it's to help people who are like pregnant, or people who, you know, have stroke victims, or injured military veterans, and people like that without their limbs and stuff. So it just makes it a little bit easier for them to handle. And to be honest, it's also just for lazy people as well, right? You know, if you want to go outside real quick, go to a shop, you can just pop them on and then off you go.
I don't know. Well, it's obviously good for people who are like less able and actually need it, but if you're lazy, you need to, if putting a shoe on just out of pure laziness gets you out of breath, then you need to just sort your life out, really. But
yeah, true.
It's good for some people. I like that.
Thanks.
And from one enlightening story to another, a woman who has been shielding since the start of the coronavirus pandemic says that getting the vaccine made her feel like a kid on Christmas morning. Amy Claire Davies from Swansea has an unknown genetic condition and was not expected to live past childhood. The 26-year-old takes more than 40 pills a day, lives in constant pain and needs around-the-clock care. She will get the second jab later at her local GP surgery. She told BBC Radio Wales Breakfast with Claire Summers that she was so excited she only managed to get 2 hours sleep before her first dose. I've just been so excited, she says. It feels like kind of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm sure so many people feel like that.
Okay, so you know the Wolf of Wall Street guy?
Oh yeah, personally.
Well, maybe he's rich. He is rich.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he's not rich, but he is rich. He's kind of rich and kind of, but he has to pay off debt basically. But he's still kind of popular. Anyway, so the whole GameStop thing, which happened with Reddit, which is a social website app kind of thing. Basically, they came together and realized, oh, we could be earning loads of money out of this floor, which is kind of within this system.
Right.
So they did that, and they allowed them to earn loads and loads and loads. And basically, what they've now done is come together to do a kind of pay it forward scheme. So the profit they've made, they've actually not just kept for themselves. They then used that money to kind of show off to these companies and to the whole stock price company kind of thing. Like, look at all the money we've just earned. We're giving it away to charities and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a good thing which they've done it. Yeah, it's kind of like Robin Hood, really. That's kind of the way I'm thinking about it.
I wouldn't go that far.
No?
I get what you're saying though, but these people are like titans, Andy. Like they have a lot of money, so giving away the odd bit.
Oh no! These people don't. These people are just like students who do the whole Reddit thing.
I get you. Right.
Which is what makes it such a shocking story, is because they're like, oh my god, they've kind of like broken the system and found a leak hole.
I get you.
A loophole, not a leak hole.
A leak hole. That's the name of the episode.
That's the word of the week.
A leak hole. A leak hole. God
Every
knows
phrase,
what people
I don't know
would
any
think.
phrase for real, do I? If I don't know it, I make it up.
Why would you say a leak hole? It sounds like some weird medical term.
It's a
Goodness
leak
gracious.
in a hole. It's kind of similar.
Thanks for that, Andy. Well, just carrying on with the theme of the show now. This week we are talking about things you'd never do again. And it's time for me and Andy to spill the tea and get your brew on. We asked you, of course, to tell us all your experiences, and we'll get to them very shortly. But come on, Andy, let's have a brew. So as this week's theme is things you'll never do again, my personal, even though it literally happened the other day, is something that I would never, ever, 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 ever do again. So
Okay.
Sheffield got really, really heavy snow the other day. Did you get it?
Yes, we did indeed. Yeah.
It was ridiculous. So I have a Toyota Aygo. It's only a Diddy car, it's a 3-door, but the wheels are only small. And
Oh, no.
it snowed so badly. Bearing in mind, I live on a vertical hill. So to the left of my road, it is this vertical drop. And to the other side, it's a longer road, less steep, but it's really tight and it is still quite steep. Not as like straight down as the left side. Anyway, I wake up and see this snow and I'm like, oh my Jesus, like I'm never gonna. I had a shift at Radio Sheffield at 9 a.m. in the morning, a 9-5 production shift, and I thought, how am I gonna get there? I'm never gonna do it. So I started at 7:30 in the morning, digging my road out, and it was never gonna happen. But I was doing it out of like frustration. Like I was like, no, I'm
panic,
getting out.
The panic of being late.
Oh my, well, exactly. And the buses were cancelled. Bearing in mind, Radio Sheffield, it might not seem like ages, but it's 5 miles away in the city centre, and it was like at least 1.5 foot of snow. It was ridiculously deep, and I thought there's just no chance. Anyway, so I'm digging it up, and then it gets to the point where I'm like, well, my back's broke now, and I need to walk. So then I put a tweet out and I was like, I need to get to Radio Sheffield. How am I going to do it? I need to walk. And then it was so funny because it got retweeted by the Radio Sheffield Twitter and all these people started messaging me going, go on, you walk, come on. So then it was like a thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
A bit of motivation for you.
yeah, so I thought, every story is a news story, And then I was walking and I was updating people, like sending pictures and stuff. And then my phone died just before. I wanted to get there, take a picture of the building and be like, I made it. But my phone died and I thought, that is just me summed up. What an anticlimax.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm trudging through and I know I'm making everyone feel sorry for me, but I was like in pain. I was tired. I couldn't be bothered. And it was honestly one of the most knackering days of my life. It was just awful. And to be honest, I would never get the bus again because I managed to get the bus on the way back because the snow had started clearing. But the people that get the buses are feral, like, and I've been there. But there's some people, not to mention the mask situation that everybody seems to ignore on the bus. But you're just thinking, hell, like, I don't want to be on here. So anyway, yeah, that's something I'd never do again.
Middle class, is it?
Oh God, no. Oh God, no, I'm not middle. I'm as common as muck me, but some people that get the bus, you think, Were you raised in a barn?
Do you know what? That story just made me think like you were kind of running the Olympics or something like.
I
like
was,
it was
Andrew.
the end of tomorrow or whatever. And just,
It was traumatic. I had to. I got there right at 8:56 and I set off walking at 7:45. I was absolutely knackaroony juned. Anyway, tell me about yours.
So mine is when I went to Australia in February, and me and my friend there decided it would be good fun to go cliff jumping.
Oh God!
And it's quite a common local spot apparently. You had to walk through like these kind of foresty, deserty kind of looked like a rural Australia. Do you know what I mean? So we got down there, and then it was kind of like a hot spot really. There was a few other tourists kind of there. Yeah. So it's quite interesting that it's obviously common enough. But there is a sign which says, you are...
Don't do this.
Yeah, basically don't do this and we are not responsible for whatever happens.
Yeah.
So an hour later, I was kind of trying to build up my courage to kind of jump. Whilst my friend was climbing up the higher bit to then jump off, and he did front flips, back flips off it. I was like, there is no way I'm doing any... I can't even jump forwards into it. It was literally about 15... No, more than 15 foot. About 20 foot high. And the other one he was jumping off was about 24, 25. And he's got steel, balls of steel is what he's got.
Have you seen them?
I haven't seen them, no. Thankfully not. They'll weigh me down. So there were these other people who are there. They've come from Germany and they were scared as well. But they also really wanted to do it. And the only way to get out of my comfort zone to do it was by doing like a little dance kind of thing. And then spinning around and then just going for it, which is what we did in the end. But the way to get up, so I went in, jumped in, petrified myself, soiled myself completely probably.
Ooh,
and on my way up, the only way to get up was you had to kind of rock climb, and there's water coming down on it as well, so it's slippy. There's like one bit of rope which you wrap behind yourself, and it's just, I panicked. I got stuck for a second because I was like, I just knew I was going to injure myself if I fell back, and that'd be the end of it. So I would never do that again, and also I definitely won't do it again because 6 months later, my friend then sent me an article that somebody had died doing the cliff jump, and I was like, oh my gosh, that could have been me. That could have been me.
Do you know what? It's just so bad, but things like that happen all the time. There's we like going to Zante, and there's a place there called Shipwreck Cove or Shipwreck Island or something. Anyway, you take a picture, you do this tour thing, and there is like it's a genuine shipwreck there. It's not like somebody's put you there as a joke. And and people, you can get like right on the top of this cliff and take pictures down, and they're like iconic pictures. If you literally just Google like Zante Shipwreck Cove, and all the time it says don't take pictures too far out because you'll fall off, and then every single year somebody dies taking a selfie and it's like, why? Like, I don't know about you, but sometimes in a foreign country, like, you kind of feel more scared about going off a cliff. Do you know what that makes sense? Like, I know it sounds stupid because you should feel like wary.
You don't feel homey. You don't feel kind of. You don't feel like you're at home, so it's not a safe kind of thing. Exactly. I know exactly what. But if the sign's there, you don't. I mean, I jumped the cliff and it said the sign was there. But I guess you see everyone else doing it, so you're like, oh, go on, I can do it. But
let's hear about other people's. Ironically, it's cup of positivity when you share your moment with us. But let's find out what things you would never do again.
So this week we asked people on our social media to tell us things they would never ever do again. If you want to share your moment while you're listening, you can still get in touch with us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Andy and Ellie UK to be featured on the show.
Okay, so first up then, Lauren said, if I could, I'd go back in time and not have got so drunk the first time I ever met my boyfriend's parents. That is something I'd never do again. Well, to be fair, you can never meet your boyfriend's parents for the first time again, so ironic much. But yeah, there is that thing of, that initial anxiety, like, oh, what's it going to be like? Yeah, and you kind of, anx yourself up a little bit. But yeah, never ever get drunk on the first time. Imagine for many situations.
Did she say something really embarrassing, do you think?
Probably. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Like that's something to find out.
Or something, do you know what
I mean? No? Well, no, she's not like you doing it on the first date all the time.
Whoa. This is the first time they know the parents. Doesn't mean that's the first date.
Well, that's true.
Jessica says she would never try Sambuca again. See, I'm the same here. I don't like having shots. I don't know how people could just be in a club and just take a shot and just feel no effect or get any joy out of that.
Well,
I'm
to be
coughing for 10
honest,
minutes.
Sambuca is like that drink, innit? Like, people really don't... You can either have white Sambuca or black Sambuca. Have you tried them both?
No.
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
think.
White is worse than the black, I think. I don't know, something like that. But it's just, yeah, for some reason, one of my friends, Molly, because I've got 10 friends called Molly, drinks it all the time, and then she'll get really drunk. She'll be like, right, come on, let's have a Sambuca. Don't be a pussy, have a Sambuca. And you're just like, no.
No, I cry inside.
Disgusting.
That's like a... Yeah, if anyone says that, I'll just start crying. I'll be like, no, not again. I can't do it anymore.
Horrible. Oh my God,
Harry Potter,
no.
when Harry has to give Dumbledore the water in the... No, Half-Blood Prince. Okay, never mind.
No idea
If
what
anyone
you're
does
talking about.
understand what I'm on about, then. But
You're
that's kind
Harry
of what I
Potter
feel. I feel repelled to
obsessed.
having shots.
Yeah, well, don't worry, I'm not going to force one down your neck anytime soon. So Molly got in touch, not actually one of my friends, and said, I wouldn't let my friends tattoo my foot using a stick and poke method ever again. So I've got a couple of stick and pokes. They're really stupid from when I was 17, and it's basically where somebody gets a sterilised needle, dips it in India ink, and then pierces your skin pinprick by pinprick. And to be honest, this is one that I would probably say I would never do again as well, because it's just so daft and it looks stupid. I've got a sun that's wonky, and then I've got one that looks like it's meant to be an arrow but looks like a fishbone on my right ankle, and it's proper tragic. Yeah, I'll have to show you. I will. It's proper tragic.
That is bad. That is really bad. Beth says that she will never ever leave her assignment to the last minute again. Pure stress.
Oh, relate. I relate.
Yeah. But then again, I said this every single assessment, and I still did it.
It always happens, Andy. It's just part of life, unfortunately. Well,
I'll never leave it last minute, and then you end up leaving it last minute for the next one as well. Yeah.
That was a very, very funny accent you just did. Anyway, Jamie says, I would never pretend I'm 16 and get a child's ticket on a train and then get chased around the carriage by train security. Well, he's 24 now, so he probably wouldn't get away with it. But what a thrill. What a thrill.
You could get away with that.
Shut up, Andy. No, I couldn't.
Probably could. Only just.
Yeah.
I've got away with it without paying once, and then my friend said that he was Australian, so they don't have to pay for train tickets there, and she let him off, and then she went straight for me. I was like,
Are
what?
you joking?
No. I was like, what? That worked? Like,
How
did that work?
ridiculous. What is it?
I had to just kind of break through the crowd and try and run out, but I was petrified. Back then, I was like, I never want to get in trouble in my life, so I felt like I was going to be going to prison by doing that. Do you know what I mean? Chris said that he will never forget his smart shoes to the club. This reminds me of In Between Us. If you know what I mean. When you see, you've seen that one. You know that.
Of course I have.
So he forgot his smart shoes to the club, so he had to go back to his friend's house and borrow his smart shoes. But there was a size too small, so it left him walking really weirdly, but also with his toes crunched, and the whole week he had an impossible blister behind his foot. Like, it was really deep. It was really horrible, actually. I want to try and find a photo, but it was a big gash in the back.
Oh God, that's awful. I mean, women can relate. I'm not saying that men can't wear high heels, because obviously they can, 2021. But if you wear high heels to a nightclub and they're like the wrong size or a bad fit, oh my God, your feet are on fire. I love how you just went, it's the worst. Shay got in touch and said, I'd never buy gig tickets off Twitter again after I got scammed twice for a Liam Gallagher gig at the Sheffield Arena. In the end, he just had to go and buy them illegally outside. This has happened to me as well, actually, and it's so gutting when it happens. You feel like you get so enthralled into it. You trust this person that you've never met before, and then next minute they've blocked you and you're £40 worse off.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, definitely one biggest rule, don't ever buy anything online, especially Twitter and stuff like that, from people you
don't ever buy anything offline.
Yeah,
not off
anything
you
at
don't
all.
know.
Anything at all. No
Never.
clothes, nothing. Don't even try it. Graham's got in touch on our Twitter DMs and said, this was quite funny. Graham is a driving instructor and said he once picked up a young woman pupil who had only one leg. It was her first lesson and it was her first time meeting with him. And as he opened the door to let her in, he said, "Hop in, love." And he could have died, but she didn't seem to notice. And he didn't mean to do it. He didn't mean to say it. But yeah, that was one of his, which he'll never say again.
Well, it's an accident. These things happen. I'm sure she didn't take it personally. Okay. So Neve said she would never, ever, ever go windsurfing again. She's too little for it, apparently, and it just did not work out for her. Fair enough. It's nice to try things for the first time. And
last but not least, Lucy says that she will never, ever try the cinnamon challenge again. Did you ever do that?
No, did you?
No, I kind of feel like like I missed out. Maybe we should do it once.
Well, there was all that fiasco because the thing is, these challenges come and go, and then somebody goes, "My friend died from that," and then it never happens again. But apparently, someone did die from doing it.
Really?
It's basically where you put a massive spoonful of cinnamon in your mouth and then try and just eat it, and then you breathe it in and you choke. But you don't want to be breathing that crap into your lungs, do you?
No, definitely not. But okay, well, we may or may not try it. But she was coughing she had a coughing fit for a whole hour afterwards. So maybe it's best we don't do that.
Do you know what? Maybe we can do it on our own and you can let me know how it goes.
Okay.
But
if you don't hear from me, then you know not to do it.
That wraps up your cup of positivity. Next week is a best of episode, so you'll have to wait until next series to be featured on the pod. But make sure you give us a DM and a follow on Twitter and Instagram to let us know what you're up to and where you're listening from. Now, not everyone seems to share the same excitement when it comes to positivity. Sometimes maybe you felt a bit annoyed that someone is so overly happy, or something has happened which you really should be quite pleased about, but you're not really. So Overbrood is a section of the show where we just let it all out and discuss some things that everyone else seems to get excited about, but really it just irks you. I love that word. Of course, it would make sense to link it in with this week's theme. So my Overbrood for this week is something I know we share, don't we, Andy? We both agree on this one, so we're going to use it together. We're going to join forces.
We're not being lazy, by the way, just so people know.
No, but it's got to link in with a theme, and what better way? So me and Andy kind of feel that sometimes people put too much pressure on themselves to try things. This week's theme is things you'd never do again. But sometimes these stories come from people doing things that they force themselves to try when really they should have just not done it in the first place. So, for example, I told myself I wanted to try 5 new foods in January, and the first thing I tried was super hot sauce from Tesco's, which I know I shouldn't have done it, but because I had this stupid complex in my head, you need to try new stuff, I did it, and I was genuinely ill for 3 days. So the premise of doing an exciting new thing was there, but I knew I shouldn't have convinced myself to do it anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's a weird one.
Yeah, but then if you flip it the other way, sometimes you do stuff and then you think, oh, I'm glad I did that. Like roller coasters. I used to hate roller coasters, and then I tried one once and then I loved them. So I agree, but it's trying to work out where the boundary is, isn't it? In terms of
trying to find that balance.
Indeed.
It depends as well. If you're one of these people that's I need to be a total daredevil and nearly, do things that risk my life.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just nutcracker talk, isn't it, really? But, trying a roller coaster out and having a good old ride, Andy, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with a good old ride. Nothing at all, really.
Well, there you go. That was short and sweet. We like it like that. And coming towards the end of the show, we always want to pour some sugar in the form of a positive story that caught our attention from across the globe.
First one, there are more people getting the vaccine than getting COVID. I think that's a big one. That's across the whole world. So it's not just UK, it's across the whole world, which is even better. The coronavirus numbers are finally dropping in the US. 2 weeks straight, it's been dipping, so that's very, very good from over there.
Thank you, Biden.
Thank you, Biden. Yeah, I mean, I don't quite know if he's done anything for that, to be honest with you, but thank you anyway. The number of students applying to medical school for the upcoming 2021 academic year is up by 18%.
Woo! That's really good.
Fascinating that people are just taking a light, or not really taking a light into the COVID thing, but they've gone, do you know what, I want to help people as well, or I want to learn about this. So that's really cool. The immune system appears to remember how to make antibodies that can fight off the virus for at least 6 months following the initial infection, and likely for much longer as well. So that's even more great news. So even if you've got COVID, then your body's kind of, still helping you out.
Sorting itself out.
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And the last one, in the UK last year, for the first time since 2012, I said this last week actually, but more than 200 million books were sold. So more people are reading.
Good.
And
that's what we
kind of finding better ways to spend their days.
Well, we've got to make our own entertainment in today's climate, Andrew. So yeah, that works well.
Andrew,
but it is good. I love calling it Andrew. I don't know why. Have you ever heard of that thing? Because you love poo talk and that. When you've got an unsettled stomach and you have this powdered drink called Andrews. I don't know why, I just like saying the
firstly,
word
I've never
Andrew.
heard that.
Oh, well, you are named after like a poo remedy. Anyway, so on to my story then. We're going over to the Philippines for this one. So a small mouse found to live only on and surrounding a volcano in the Philippines has remained seemingly unscathed after the mountain exploded in what was the largest eruption in the 20th century. So obviously this is 1 century ago, but it links in. So details on the long-nosed Luzon pomace, nice name, Latin of course, are scant in good times, but after surveying the damage the eruption caused to the ecosystem, it was presumed that all these mice would have actually vanished. But much to Eric's surprise, so he's obviously a nature geezer, not a naturist, this little rodent, sometimes called the Mount Pintubo volcano mouse, is doing just fine. Unlike us, though, tiny rodents can actually survive such conditions more readily, since they eat plants or insects, require less water and live underground. So it's thought that a group of small rodents were actually among the few animals that survived the comet impact, which wiped out the dinosaurs, and that they actually gradually evolved into all the mammals that we see today. Nice bit of history for you there.
There you go. So we were a rat, right?
No, that's not what it means.
Okay.
It means that, wow, I actually cannot believe you just said that. He's not saying that we were a rat.
Oh, right.
Goodness
Dear.
gracious.
Although I do have a fact about pigeons. Pigeons evolved from rats. So there's something.
Is that why they're called sky rats, or is it because they're annoying?
It could be sky rats as well. Yeah, equally the same. But,
wow.
Yeah, imagine the first rat that realised he could fly. Be like, wow, look at this, guys.
Yeah, but it wasn't actually. It's not a flying rat, though, is it, Andy?
No, it's true. It's true.
Anyway, thanks for that. So
I did well in school in science. You can tell.
Yeah, you can really tell. But that's the end of our show. So we hope we brought a cheeky smile to your face. And next week's show is a best of, isn't it, Andy? So we're going to collate all our favourite moments. That's 10 episodes that we've done now, not even including our first one. So we've just enjoyed doing this podcast so much. Series 2 will be coming, but you've got to make sure that you show this particular one loads and loads and loads of love, and make sure that you follow us on all our socials at Andy and Ellie UK, and our email address is andyandellieuk@gmail.com in case you ever want to get in touch.
Absolutely, and we look forward to hearing from you soon, and we will be back again.
Yeah, we'll be back. We don't know when, but we'll be back.
That's great accent attempt. I love it.
Can you go bye?
Bye.